Well, hello, welcome back to Dollywood. Despite this being my home park, I haven't actually been here since September, so it's definitely great to be back. It also means like the first construction update on things in about 2 months-ish. There's lots of interesting stuff going on around the park, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you in this construction update video. If you enjoy what you're seeing, I would appreciate a subscription, and vlog from today should be out much later. I'm behind on uploading all those, so I like to do construction updates like right when I film them, but then the longer videos of the whole day. It may be a while, but before we even enter the park, you can see this hillside by where the tram drops you off is already looking very different because there's a lot less trees and all that. And they have made significant progress on the new parking lot that's going up there. I know definitely the least exciting thing that's going on right now, but it is the first thing before you come in the park that you'll see. While it's pretty boring on paper, it's hard to overstate just how big of a project and just how expensive it is to put in a new parking lot, especially on this kind of terrain. You can see just how many trees they've had to remove, how much dirt they've had to move around, set up erosion control. You can see a lot of storm culverts are in place to divert water away from said parking lot. And there is tons of equipment up there. I've seen probably 6 or 7 excavators, several pavers, all that kind of stuff. And while it's hard to tell exactly from down here, you can see the old priority parking lot, which I assume will still be the priority parking lot right there. This new parking lot, this area, has got to be about, I'd say almost 3 times, at least twice as big, but probably almost 3 times the size of the existing priority parking lot that's up on that hill. So yeah, just a massive project. I'd say this is probably the most expensive project going on in the park right now, which is funny because it's the one people are the least interested in, but parking lots are expensive.
What the weather being said this morning, owner of which your smartphone says about the weather, it's going to snow here in Dollywood this evening at 7 p.m. In the Wildwood Grove area, we're going to have snow in the Grove at the Christmas tree in the Wildwood Grove area, starting at 7. And on top of all that,
on the other side of security, you can kind of see more of the kind of back part of that parking lot that was kind of blocked from where we were standing before. Again, it's just hard to get good angles of this just because it's all the way up on that hill where it is, but you can see behind there that kind of almost mountain looking mound. That's basically all the dirt that they had to move to make that parking lot possible, so that's pretty crazy. And you can see storm culverts and stuff up there getting ready to be installed. All right, so here's a big one. This is the site of Dollywood's new for 2026 restaurant. We're getting a brand new restaurant, an actual brand new one this time. And as you can see, wild amounts of progress have been made since I last did a construction update here. And we now have some concept art for what it's going to look like. For whatever reason, they have not posted this online. It's just right here. It's hard to get a good video without blocking the path, so I'm just have to end up being pretty close. So Dollywood's described this online and such as an upscale kind of restaurant. But you can see it looks like the building's going to be pretty large. And see how it'll kind of look in the plaza. So you have like a central area there. Then it looks like 2 wings off to the side. And then in front of it, they will be keeping kind of a plaza-ish area, which will certainly be nice for here. Maybe a hot take, but I do think this is going to end up looking better than what the plaza looked like before. And you can see here's the old, it's still here, but this is like kind of the archway entrance that we'll pass through in a second. It looks like they will be retaining that, which is nice because that was definitely a pretty space, especially when the flowers grew on it. But the rest of the space looks completely new. But yeah, I've noticed all this art is just calling it Wilderness Pass Restaurant. I really hope they come up with a better name than that. I really hope that's a placeholder, but at least they'll serve Coca-Cola, I guess. And if we look at the food options, rotisserie, smoked, wood-fired. So there you go, I guess. I don't know exactly what all that means, but we'll see. We'll see. Coming 2025. I think I said 2026 earlier. I meant 2025. Yeah, so it's coming along pretty well. And the structure is actually pretty big. You can see it almost coming out over the path from this side. So when I did the last construction update, we thought it was going to be a much smaller footprint, but I think it's because they only had kind of the foundation laid out for this like middle portion here. So yeah, it's a much bigger building than I initially suspected, which is, I'm happy with that. Yeah, so here's the archway that's going to be retained as is from what I can tell, which is good because it's a very pretty archway. And presumably this structure is going to remain about the same as well, kind of in what used to be the entry into the plaza, but now it's going to be the entry into the restaurant area. And you can see how the restaurant sits with that. Here's a watchtower from before this was even the plaza. This was a Mack Splashpad like water ride, and that was one of the watchtowers that they just left for some reason. It's still there. Can't see over the fence from this side. We're on like the, I don't know if this is east or west now. We're on the other side. Can't see over the fence because of this hill here. But you got the same concept art pasted again. So now you can kind of see the whole thing now of how it's going to look. And this is from the angle from the other side where we were before, closer to Wild Eagle. So this is not a change where I'll be able to show you much of anything because as you can see, it's completely shut up. But Blazing Fury is closed. However, that being said, you can see the sign out front saying Blazing Fury is closed for extended maintenance, is what the sign says. That's very vague. So one of the only times I've ever seen Blazing Fury completely shut. They got a garage door down there. Those front barn doors are closed and everything. Looks kind of strange. So at the beginning of Smoky Mountain Christmas this year, Blazing Fury was removed from both the park app and the park website, which I thought was weird. And sure enough, it has not operated at all during Smoky Mountain Christmas. From what I've seen, the park has made no like official statement on this. They just discreetly removed it from the website and the app. I've seen some speculation that it could be permanently closed and they may be looking to replace it in 2026, similar to what Silver Dolly City did with Fire in the Hole, but I think that's absolutely not what's happening at all. Mark my words, the 2026 attraction is not a new Blazing Fury. If I'm wrong, we can all laugh, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. From what I've heard, and I'll say right now, I don't know how accurate these sources are. This is not like some other coaster enthusiasts that have really close and really reliable like connections. I just kind of hear things and I repeat what I hear, but this does seem to sound reasonable. From what I've heard, Blazing Fury is closed because it's getting just a normal refurbishment, which would make sense with the sign out front saying it's closed for extended maintenance. Of course, next year is the park's 40th anniversary, and from what I've heard, they want Blazing Fury, with it being such a classic ride and the oldest operating ride in the park. I think it's the only opening day Dollywood attraction that is still operating, at least in terms of rides. And they wanted operating it at tip-top condition. So not only are they doing their regular maintenance, allegedly, they are also doing some updates to some of the scenes inside, replacing some of the set pieces, maybe adding some new effects, etc., etc. I wouldn't expect anything to look all that different, just so you're not disappointed. I don't think they're doing any drastic changes or like incorporating anything too crazy, but yeah, that's about all there is to say about Blazing Fury as I come around the other side here. It is weird that the park hasn't made any kind of official announcement. All right, we're at the back side of Blazing Fury's building. It looks not as pretty from back here, but anyways. I should mention my source on that is two people that I don't even know that well that both say that they know people that work at the park. So, could be totally wrong. But it does seem to make the most sense, to be completely honest. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Blazing Fury. If it is just a little refurbishment like that, it is weird that they hadn't said anything before, because typically at this park, if a ride is closing early for the season, we usually hear about it beforehand and they tell us what's going on. I think of the two examples with Lightning Rod. When Lightning Rod got its decent chunk of iBox track, and when it got the launch installed, both of those times we had an announcement about that before it closed. We knew what was going on before it closed early for the season for both of those things to take place. So that is what's going on with Blazing Fury, just a facelift for next year. I don't know. It's weird that they haven't said anything about it. So again, Blazing Fury is not on the website or the app anymore. So presumably it is not reopening the rest of the season. So kind of sad because it was a nice place to warm up when it's cold, especially when it gets colder later and some of the rides start shutting down for temperature. It was one you could always rely on because it was climate controlled. But yeah, no, not this year, unfortunately. So this might be the most exciting development that we see here, even more exciting than the progress on that restaurant. And that is Big Bear Mountain is back open as of about 20 minutes ago. So funny thing, I had literally just finished recording my segment about how this ride had been closed and that we did not know when it was going to reopen. And I even said when recording that segment, I said, I don't think that it's going to reopen before the end of the year. And I was very wrong. 5 minutes after I said that, it reopened. So I happened to be standing right there when it reopened, so I was able to hop on in about 5 minutes, which is good because it looks like it has about a 90-minute wait now. As you can see, they still haven't taken down the sign saying that it's closed for maintenance. I'm sure they'll take that down in a minute. But yeah, there we go. So if you were holding out on visiting Dollywood because you wanted to ride Big Bear, you don't have to hold on anymore. It seems to be good. It's been running for about 20 minutes now without any issues. I'll keep an eye on it the rest of the day and let you know for sure, but looking pretty good. So the background for those of you who don't know, before today, the last time this ride had operated was October 24th. So it had been closed for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. The park even put a little thing on the Big Bear Mountain page on the website saying that it was experiencing the extended closure. And yeah, we don't know officially what happened. Parks don't usually really talk about this kind of thing, what exactly happened, but the rumor that I hear, or at least what everyone online is saying, is that it experienced some sort of electrical fire and that it needed specialized components to come over from the Netherlands, from Vekoma, the ride's manufacturer, to fix what was damaged by said electrical fire. I don't know if that's true, but that is the main story that's been going around. So whatever the case, there was some kind of major issue that took like a month and a half, 2 months to resolve, but it is resolved now. So I do know I saw people online that were holding off on visiting the park until it had reopened. There you go.
Got a camera.
Well, I'll just go ahead and talk a little bit about the 2026 attraction while I'm here, since it's going to end up being right behind me. Don't get too excited. No construction has started yet. I anticipate we'll see construction start probably in the spring of 2025. We will see. But what has been confirmed so far is the location. It will be behind Big Bear Mountain, so behind me. It will be an indoor attraction. I think the actual size of the building was about 40,000 square feet, so a little bit bigger than Blazing Fury's building. And it is going to be a roller coaster. Maybe. I say maybe because we do know that Dollywood has purchased a roller coaster for 2026. Pete Owens at an ACE event specifically said that they are getting a roller coaster in 2026. We also know they've filed permits to build a 40,000 square foot building, I think that was the size, in 2026 as well in this location, which made me and most others think that it's going to be an indoor roller coaster. But I have heard from a source that's gotten a few things right on Dollywood recently. I don't know how reliable the source is. It's one of those people that like knows a person that works with the park. So, you know, take it with a complete grain of salt. But I hear that the building is for an indoor boat ride. Maybe. And so what I'm hearing from this person is that the building is for an indoor boat ride, and then the coaster that is also opening in 2026 is separate. But they'll both be in the same plots. There'll be like a mega expansion thing. I don't know. We'll be getting an indoor boat ride and an outdoor roller coaster both back there, is what this person says. I just thought I'd throw that out there since this person's gotten things right in the past, but I don't think I believe this one. in the nicest way possible. I do think it's just going to be an indoor roller coaster, and that's going to be the one attraction for 2026. That's my prediction. Again, we'll see if I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong. I would love to have an outdoor roller coaster and an indoor not roller coaster ride. What I will say is that based on what we've heard from the park and what I've been able to gather from the park at Smoky Mountain Coaster Fest last year, unfortunately I wasn't able to go this year, but we asked Pete Owens a lot of questions last year about this attraction when he kind of was willing to start talking about it a little bit. I am 90% sure that it is not a Blazing Fury replacement. So Silver Dollar City had Fire in the Hole, which was a similar ride to Blazing Fury, almost identical ride to Blazing Fury. And they actually built like a brand new Fire in the Hole, modern with new effects and everything, and then tore down the old one. So people think Dollywood's going to do the same thing with Blazing Fury, but the park has been pretty insistent that that's not what they're doing. And I'm pretty inclined to believe them because, like I said, this is the location right in the back of Wildwood Grove. Blazing Fury is obviously a firefighting themed ride. That makes absolutely no sense in the thematic context of Wildwood Grove. And Dollywood is a park that does care about thematic cohesion throughout their areas, so I don't think that they would put a firefighting themed ride in the back of Wildwood Grove. I just don't think that's what this is anyway. So anyways, nothing to really see yet, but presumably on the other side of Big Bear Mountain's turnaround there, way back there, is presumably where the building for this attraction will go. Pretty large building. And then this is the path. You can see where it awkwardly dead ends here. This is the path that's going to continue around to that building. And from what we hear, this is going to be the third and final phase of Wildwood Grove. So it'll finish out the area back there. So there you go.